Hello YouTube and welcome to my May dividend portfolio update. It's been a relatively flat month with a 2% return. So just going over the month, sort of started at 17,500. Then there was some news mid-month about pause on tariffs for about 90 days. That sort of rallied the market quite a bit. Nearly got to 18,000 again. Just broke it there a little bit and then it sort of tailed off towards the end of the month slightly, finishing at just below 18. So pretty happy with that. Other news, so I sold out Aviva after ex-dividend date. Because it was in a profit and I'm trying to shrink my portfolio. Me and some friends have created a pie together called Wolf of Wall Street. Let's have a quick look at that actually. So we've essentially what we've done is we've all picked some companies that we like from both US and UK, 10 in total, bunged them in a pie together, and then we're all sort of sticking in, not separately, but as a project. I've slightly cheated because companies what I've already owned, I've sort of transferred them into the pie and the new ones are in there. Okay, let's have a look at the top 10. So top 10, slight change around. Realty income's dropped down a couple of spaces and Meta's climbed up a few through their performances this month and the exchange rate. Let's look at the portfolio as a whole. At this point in the video, if you want to see some individual stocks, just give it a little pause and I'll quickly scroll through. There's not much to talk about really. Oil's still down. There's only a couple that's been had a good month. For example, Caterpillar was at 120, 320 at the start of the month. It's had a bit of a rally and then sort of finished the month at around 350. So pretty good. What else had a good month? Not much really. Oh, this one's had a bit of a dip in the month. Sort of dropped off a little bit. Not worried, it makes it cheaper to buy. I'm looking at keeping that one for long term. Meta had a good month, didn't it? Let's have a look at Meta. Oh, Rolls-Royce. Let's talk about Rolls-Royce. So Rolls-Royce, tariff news, rocked the whole markets across the world, and then is carried on its exponential growth up. I'm just wondering, will it hit these pre-pandemic prices back in 2018? So if you look at that, it was £7 a share. It's already exceeded where it was before the pandemic. So who knows what the ceiling is on that? I think I need to make a decision whether to keep it or sell it. I don't know, if it hits £10 a share, I might sell it. That's where we are with that. Did I look at Meta? Didn't stop that, did I? Meta, there we go. Very similar story to Caterpillar, quite low at the end of the month through all the turmoil in the market and then had a good recovery. So he's currently sitting at $650, so pretty good. Anything else really? Royalty income, relatively flat month, but the exchange rate, which shows in the dividends returns, because I still take them in pounds rather than keep them in dollars, is hurting me on there. Yeah, and then if you look at the S&P 500, for example, that sort of follows the trend of the month. So low, pause on tariff, good. A little bit of a dip in towards the end of the month and then slowly recovered. So kind of a lose on my portfolio. My portfolio is quite heavily US actually. But that's where we're at. Okay, let's flick over to my dividends and see how that's going on. So I stuck in £316 this month, which gave me £49.57 interest with just under 15,000 gross balance. Let's now compare that to my investment side of things. So we'll run for the dividends first. So AG&C Investments paid me at £1.87. As you can see, it's quite flattish, slight growth there, but quite flat. Apple, 20p. Again, no growth in there really from the last time. AT&T, £1.91. Viva where I sold out, but still got the dividends. That paid me out £6.74, which I'm really happy with. Bank of Montreal paid me out £1.69, so no growth there really either. Caterpillar flat, same as last time. Again, 72 pence exchange rate has affected that. Citigroup paid me at £1.02, again really flat. General Dynamics paid me at 84 pence, again slight increase but still quite flat. Gladstone Land, even though I've been pumping money in that still, paid me at £1.73, again really flat. Bit of growth finally, so Greencoat Energy, so that is, I've sort of been invested in renewables quite a bit, putting extra money in there, and that's now start showing for the dividend returns, so £4.07 from that. Horizon Technology paid me out £1.55, so again relatively flat. First of my ETFs, my global clean energy one, which I held for a long time, which just losing money hand over fist, paid me out 44 pence. And then my iShares US bonds from JP Morgan paid me at 81 pence. My new one, my equity fund from JP Morgan, paid me at £1.21, so I've been sticking a little bit of extra cash in there just to boost it up to over £1, so it sort of catches up with the rest of the portfolio in terms of dividend return a month. So relatively happy with that. Lowe's paid me out 61 pence, again flat. LTC Properties paid me at £1.20, again flat. Main Street Capital paid me out 83 pence. Recurring theme, it's quite flat. Nucor paid me out 56 pence. My two then other US bonds, the PIMCO ones, one paid me out 96 pence, and the other one paid me out £1.01. Procter & Gamble paid me out 94 pence. Prospect Capital shows a slight growth, but I have been taking advantage of the low share price in there and sticking some money in to cost average my losses down on there. So that paid me out £2.80. Royalty income fairly flat there at £2.66. Segro, so this is where I sold Reckitt Benckiser out at the beginning of the year, and then I reinvested that money into my Segro one to cost average that down so I can get that to a profitable position quicker to sell out, but that paid me out £26.12, which is pretty good. Quite pleased with that. Stag, again, steady and flat, 48 pence. Starbucks paid me out 75 pence. My 24 monthly select fund paid me out twice this month, so it's £2.17, so pretty good. My Vanguard UK government gilt, so UK government bonds really, so that paid me out 39 pence, slightly down. Walmart paid me out 53 pence, and then finally Whitestone REIT paid me out 41 pence. So that's where I sit for the month, which gave me £67.22 in dividends, which is about nearly £20 more than the interest I got on my cash. Let's a quick look at the charts before we go into the final numbers. So my monthly trend line is slightly up, but that's why I want to keep it. I was expecting to dip down, so I'm actually quite pleased with that at the moment. The Segro one really boosted that up. Top 5 then. So number 1 is still BP. Number 2 now is Prospect Capital. So that's the new number 2 spot. Number 3 is HSBC. Just. Number 4, which was my number 2 before, AG Investments. And then number 5, it's got to be Shell. There you go. So a bit of a change to the top 5 there. Still quite impressive though. On to the numbers. So my investment value then at the end of last month, end of May at 17,926, so just shy under 18 grand, which kind of gives me £3,000 more than my cash. So investment is still winning. My yield, so my overall return on investment is 17%, 18% nearly, so that's pretty good. Want to keep that above 20 though, ideally, for being return on investment. I think that's the right, good, healthy margin. My dividend yield, so on my costs, so the amount of money I've actually put into the portfolio, is now running at 8.5%, and the yield on value, so the amount the portfolio is worth, is 7.1%, so pretty good. My capital growth this year is now £34, so a bit of a celebration there, because last month it was quite negative by a couple of £100. Now we're sort of back into profit again, so that's really good. So there, that's the numbers in whole. So let's have a quick look at the front sheet. How we're tracking against my exponential line. So pretty good. Look, last month was on it, this month's just below it. So I'm reasonably happy where that is. I was expecting, as I said before, I was expecting that to have a bit of a dip, but Seagrow sort of come back in and saved that. So I'm relatively happy with dividend performance year on year. So now for 2025, we're what, £50 less than 2023-ish, not far off it. There's an actual number there somewhere. 2023 dividends, 2023, yeah, so £50 behind. So again, really showing a good growth in dividends. And then obviously that's my trending return on capital line. So again, pretty good. And then dividends per month. April still winning, but it's got 12 months on the other ones. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Okay, finally then over to my predictor, so where we're sitting with the stats on my 50k in 5 years. Looking very unlikely. I think that's still looking at what, 10 years, 10, 11ish years. So double what I expected to make when I started this little project out. But on target, so my predicted dividend should be £871. I'm currently sitting at 260, so a long way to go. I don't think I'm going to make that metric this year. Capital growth, well, beginning of the year it was smashing it. Now it's back in positive, but still a long way to go. And my fund value is £2,500 behind. So what we've got left: June, July, August, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 7 months. What's that? 2-ish grand. Call it 2 grand. Make it easy numbers. Yeah, still with a bit of growth and a bit of dividend return, could make that metric. All right, that's it for the month, really. Pretty short one. If you liked this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And hopefully I'll see you all again next month. Bye for now.